Do you feel like you're at the mercy of your emotions? Maybe you feel like you do okay for a little while, but then eventually you explode and you're like, oh my gosh, why did I just do that? I just said and did things I didn't want to do. Or maybe you're feeling very numb. You feel very disconnected between your brain and your body and your heart. And then there's another version I see in clients where they feel like their emotions are very big and they don't quite know what to do with them. And so if you want to make friends with your emotions, learn how to deal with them in a more positive and effective way, I'm going to give you the secret, the thing that I see most people doing that is causing a whole lot of problems in their lives. But first of all, my name is Kate Wood. I am an integrative health and wellness coach. I specialize in helping women overcome overwhelm, reduce their stress, make friends with their emotions so they can live a more joyful and full life. So let's hop right into it. There's a common belief, and people want to believe, that somehow there's a way around emotions and that there should be a way around emotions, right? And here's where I see it showing up. One of them is actually kind of in the mindset space. And I am a coach. I love mindset stuff. But what I have noticed is people think that if they can tweak their mindset just perfect, that they can avoid the emotions they don't want to feel. Some people call those negative emotions. But here's the thing, it doesn't work. We can improve it, certainly. But what happens is we think a thought and then the emotion comes up in our body. And then if we're like, oh, I'm going to switch the thought, that's cool. That's great. It's a great practice. But the emotion, you've already created it neurochemically in your brain and it's already like in your body. You might feel tight stomach. You might feel a burning sensation on your sternum. You might get a really tight jaw. You might get a headache, stomach ache. You might just feel like so on edge. All of your muscles are super tight. That's why I started to get into somatic work, because I do believe that sometimes we hold on to emotions in our bodies and it can cause physical symptoms and discomforts. And we want to feel comfortable and at home in the bodies that God gave us. I made this mistake early on. I was so gung-ho about coaching and I was like, I won't have to feel negative emotions. All I got to do is switch my mindset. And it does help. But the fact is, once you've had the mindset that is causing you the problem in the first place, the emotion's already there. And you're always going to have new mindsets. It's not like we can perfectly think all the time. And so there's no way to be like, oh, yep, I have no more negative emotions. God didn't create us that way. He created us with a full range of emotions, both the ones we love and the ones that are more uncomfortable. And so if you are trying really hard in the mindset arena, maybe you have a coach that is really strong in mindset, but you're like, man, there's a piece that's missing. I still don't feel good, or I still feel numb. This could absolutely be the reason why. Mindset is powerful, but it's just one piece of the puzzle. Number 2, we use distraction. And let me add a little caveat here. Sometimes distraction can work temporarily if the feeling is pretty low level and you're not super stressed out. So if you're starting to get worked up, but you're right about to get on a meeting, you don't have time to sit and be with your emotions, even though sometimes you can let your emotions flow through and be released from them within a couple minutes. Maybe you don't have 2 minutes to do it. Sometimes distraction, if you're kind of at a low level already, can work. Getting up, moving around, doing something different, changing your environment, that can help. But I think we take it way to another level into buffering, where we're scrolling all the time to make ourselves feel better and to numb out. Eating, Amazon shopping, all the things. I list these so often. Why do you keep saying it, Kate? Sorry about the sunshine lines. We finally got some sunshine. Because so many people are using them all the time. And I don't think we're meant to live a numbed out life. And also they're causing long-term problems. They're causing health problems, financial problems, and you're not getting to the root of what is going on with you. And so it's not really a good solution. And we all scroll, we all eat sometimes when we're not hungry. I get it. I'm a human too, for sure. But if we want to optimize our lives, we need to get at the root cause, and we need to have much more effective techniques and tools to use so that we can be living full out. And buffering, trying to distract as your main tool is not going to work. Just like mindset as your only tool, it's probably not going to work. The third thing that we do to try to get around the emotion, right, to skip them, is by stuffing. Someone says something, I'm just going to stuff it down. I'm just going to ignore it. They said something that really hurt me, but I use the example of my teenage son who's in charge of trash. And we have a large family, 5 kids. And so we create a lot of trash. And he never wants to take it out. We have a giant garbage bin and he pushes it down so hard. And I'm like, son, that's going to weigh 500 pounds by the time you finally take it out. He's like, I don't care. And so that's kind of what we do. We ignore, stuff. We smile, we go eat something. And then finally, at one point or another, we explode either on that person or somebody else who seems safer. Sometimes that's our family. Unfortunately, sometimes that's our spouse or our children, or somebody who just annoyed us in a minor way, but all that stuffed emotion just like, whoosh. Have you ever done that? You're like, what just happened? Like, I wasn't even really that mad at that person. Like, what they did was minor now that I'm calm, right? People are like, well, I'll yell sometimes. That's releasing emotion. You're releasing energy. I don't think you've actually dealt with the emotion, but it felt good to kind of just release a big amount of energy that you're holding because of the stuffing. I know you don't like the effects of stuffing. Nobody really does, but here's the kicker. Sometimes we think, well, when we allow the feeling to get so high, like we had to release it. We had no choice. I think that's kind of some mental gymnastics that we do in order to somehow say that's okay. It's okay that I really yelled at that person like pretty hard. They deserved it. I just couldn't take it anymore. Do you ever say that? Yeah, I couldn't take it anymore. I would not use explosion as a main tool at all. It's going to hurt your relationships. It's going to hurt you. I believe that by stuffing and exploding, oh my goodness, so many health problems come from just like keeping it stuck inside. It's like, I almost imagine like it's rotting our guts. I know that's a disgusting example. Do you ever have that feeling? Maybe you feel it somewhere else where your head's about to explode or you just can't get the energy out fast enough. All of these things, the distraction, the buffering, using scrolling or different things that you're like, man, I don't want to spend so much time on that anymore. I don't know why I keep returning to it. It's easy. It's a quick dopamine hit. And a lot of times it seems less scary than dealing with the emotions. Let me give you some good news. Dealing with your emotions is not scary. I lead women through the process all the time. And like I've said before, I wish I knew this a long time ago because I could have saved so much energy and time not running. Because I thought emotions were scary, dangerous. If you allowed yourself to feel an emotion, it would probably stick around like for a really long time. Like if you let yourself be sad for a few minutes, maybe you would just be sad for months. I actually find it's the opposite. It's when you resist the sadness, that's when you're feeling down. And if you've been feeling down or anxious for a long time, I do believe that coaching and the type of things I do can absolutely help you. But I am also a big proponent of building yourself a care team. Maybe you have a naturopath, a physician, a psychologist, a counselor, all these different types of things that they can help you with what they specialize in. So if this has been a concern and you've been like stuck in an emotion for a really long time, that's a great time to call someone on your team. There's absolutely no shame in that. I understand we like to think we can do it all on our own. I don't think life is meant to be that way. I don't think God created us to be that way. And when we try to do it that way, often we get pretty darn stuck. And so if emotions are tripping you up, consider working with a coach like me. I'm an emotional intelligence coach, a somatic practitioner. I study emotions a lot because for me, that was a huge missing piece in my wellness, in my feeling better, in my operating in relationships better. Mindset wasn't doing it. And buffering and running away certainly was not working at all. It wasn't working at all. Good habits, helpful. It wasn't the whole picture. So I work with all of those things. That's why I work holistically. These like spots are so crazy. I'm so sorry. Because you are mind, you are spirit, you are body, and you are emotions. And so I think all of those are fascinating. I think it's amazing God made us that way. And that's why I work with all of them to try to bring you the best experience of your life and to help you along on your journey as part of your team. So if you're interested in finding out more, you're welcome to visit my website, katewoodcoaching.com. I work both with groups and one-on-one, and that is my passion and my joy. Also, if this is the type of content you like, please subscribe. I also put out a free weekly newsletter. So you guys, don't try to bypass the emotions. You weren't made that way. You're not wired that way. And honestly, starting to work with your emotions to allow them and release them, I promise you, it is not as hard as what you think. And it is well worth taking a little bit of time to learn how to do it and to be a little gutsy to try it. And then you'll be like, oh my gosh, I have a superpower. It's called feeling my emotions. I'm no longer numb. I'm no longer blowing up. I am no longer buffering on my phone all the time. Amazon man is not at my house like 24/7. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me. I'll see you soon.